Hello everyone, thanks for joining me and welcome back. In the previous session, we went through the onboarding process of the controllers. We are working on Cisco SD-WAN version 29.4, and when we went through the onboarding process, we saw how to create the root key, the root certificate. We installed that certificate on all controllers, and we installed the certificate on vManage, and we onboarded, we added the vBond and the vSmart in vManage. As you can see now, we have the controllers showing on the dashboard of vManage. In this session, we're going to work on creating a cluster of the two vManagers that I have in my lab. So if we go back to look at the topology, we can see that I have two sites where the controllers are located, and I have two vManagers. According to Cisco documentations, we need at least 3 vManage per cluster, but for the purpose of this lab, we're only going to use 2. So before going into the details of this session, I would like to point out a couple of issues that can affect your ability to access the vManage via web interface. So I'm gonna go through a couple of notes here. So when you start your lab, make sure, and this is for all your version 20.9.4 equipments, the controllers and the WAN edges, you need to change the password of the admin user. That's the first thing. The second thing, you need to create another user and place that user under the netadmin group. The third thing, place the interface connected to the GNS3 NAT cloud under VPN 512. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to access the web interface of vManage, or you might access but intermittently. So if we go back to my topology, what you need to do is that this interface going to the NAT cloud, because the NAT cloud allow you to connect GNS3 to your local Wi-Fi network, or even go outside to the internet. So this interface need to be in VPN 512. If you are familiar with the previous versions like version 17, we all know that you could put this interface in VPN 0, and you're not going to experience any issue accessing the web interface. But with this version, I have struggled for the first tries, and until I got that, until I understood that we need to place this interface in VPN 512. The fourth thing, when adding controllers on vManage, you need to use the credentials of the user that you created at step 2. So the user that you're going to create here, this is the user that you're going to use. But how do you do that? You need to go to vManage, configuration, devices, controllers. When you go to controllers, this is where you can update the credentials. So like for vSmart, you need to come here and update the username that you're going to use to access the vSmart. So you're gonna use the username of, the user that you're going to create, and the password of that user. And finally, when installing the controller certificate, you need to use the admin user credentials. So you need to go back here again and update again to replace that the new user that you created, you're going to create, by the admin user and the new admin password. So those are the couple of things that I've noticed. If you might face other issues, but yeah, we always see some issues when we're doing these labs. And finally, you might need to wait for about 20 minutes for the web interface to be available after starting the vManage. So that being said, we can go back to we can start with this session. You can see I already onboarded 2 WAN edges while testing, and we are now going to cluster both vManagers. So on the left, with IP address 192.168.17.181, this is my vManage 1. If we go to devices, we can see that I have all the controllers that are already onboarded and the 2 WAN edges. If we go to configuration, devices, we can see that this is where I uploaded the WAN edge list, and I have all these edges that I can validate and onboard. If we go to the right, sorry, with IP address 192.168.17.180, we don't see any other controller. So this is the vManage, which is not which does not have any other info, because we don't see any device here. So we're going to add this cluster this vManage with the first one. So before doing that, let's go to vManage 2, the one that I need to add. And if we go to vshell lsl, we can see that I installed the root CAPM. So that's kind of the first thing, because this controller, in order to participate to the SD-WAN fabric, need to have the root CA certificate. And now let's go back. So the way it works, it's pretty straightforward. We go to administration, cluster management. So basically, before doing anything, if I would like to add a vManage, let me click here. It's going to ask me to configure the IP address on the local device. So in order to do that, I will go back to configuration, devices, and controllers, and I will go to vManage, edit. Here I can update the IP address here. So if I go back to the topology, I would like to use an IP address that I configured at this level. Let's see if that's going to work, but let me go back, and I'm gonna check that IP first. Okay, let's go. I mean, it's the 172, sorry, 172.16.100.1, and I'm gonna use the default user with the password that I created. I'm gonna put, okay, so this is vManage itself, but it's saying device unreachable. Cancel. Let me try to use the other IP address, the one on VPN 0. So I'm gonna use 179.168.1.1. 1 and admin Cisco 1 2 2 3 4, save. Okay, this is accepted. So I will go back to, I will do the same on the other controller. So I will go here, configuration, devices, controllers. On this side, the IP address is the 172.16.1.1. I'm gonna use the admin user. So if I go back to the CLI just to show interface description, this is the IP address on vManage 2, the one that we just added. On this side, on vManage 1, show interface description, this is the IP address that we just added. So I will so if we go to administration, cluster management, we see the local vManage. We can go to the 3 dots on the right, edit. So this is the IP address, okay, that we added, and we're going to put the admin user and the password, and we can enable this option. So it's telling us that in order to apply these changes, the device will need to be rebooted. We say okay, and we're gonna do the same on the other controller. We're going to administration, cluster management. We're going to the 3 dots on the right side, edit. On this one, the IP address is there, admin Cisco 1 2 3 4, and we update. We say the same. So it's gonna take another maybe half an hour before both vManage to be back. I will pause the video and I will see you when so it was not able to add the vManage 2. I mean vManage 1 was not able to add vManage 2. So as you can see, vManage unable to connect to admin. So looks like we still have that issue, or where we need to change the user on this side. So I will go edit and update to Mehdi, the other user that I created. Update. So let me make sure that I got the right IP, because it's going to reboot. Mehdi. So I will update, and I will go back here and do the same. Instead of admin, I will use looks like I have the password saved, but we'll type it. Update. And yeah, so I will pause again. So this is now completed. I was able to add vManage 2 to cluster with vManage 1, and you can see the message that I received. The node is being added to the cluster. The operation may take up to 30 minutes and may cause application server to restart. So what I did is that I went into both vManagers and I deleted the interface that where the IP that we're using is located. So I needed to do the node tunnel interface on that. Let me show. So if you do show interface description, so this is where this is the interface we are using on vManage 1, and on vManage 2 show interface description, and this is the interface we are using on vManage 2, sorry, and we have to disable the tunnel under this interface. Once we did that, you just need to make sure that you put the right credentials, and if you want to use the admin, you can go with admin and the password, and that should work, and I used an admin to get it work. So if now I will go back, log on to vManage. The tunnel is not up yet, but let me log back into vManage 1 and also in vManage 2. So if we come back to vManage 1, we can see 2 vBond unreachable, 2 vSmart unreachable, 2 WAN edges unreachable. If I come back to vManage 2, let's see what's going on. We can now see that vManage 2 is now also having those two the controllers and the WAN edges. So I will go back and enable the tunnels. Configure VPN 0 interface ETH1 tunnel interface, commit, go back to vManage 1, config VPN 0 interface ETH1 tunnel interface, commit. So if we go back in a couple of moments, in a couple of seconds, we should see this, the controllers and the WAN edges reachable. And if I refresh, sometimes for this version we need to refresh, so we should see those controllers and the WAN edges reachable. The controllers are already reachable. We are waiting for the WAN edges. So it takes a little bit time here to show devices on the dashboard.